So in this video we are going to talk about performance. Basically performance in NodeJS and in JavaScript world at the same time. So basically two things that we need to pay attention, and probably you'll get your app best or better because of this. So if we use this in the browser, we have the same results. If we're using this in Node.js, we have the same results. So pay attention to this kind of thing and we are good to go. So first thing, and it's almost like a gold rule here, never block the main thread. So basically JavaScript, Node.js, and etc. is single thread. So if we have, for example, one script with console.log one, and later we do something here that takes time, and another console log with 2. If this guy here takes, for example, 2 seconds, this console log here will probably be executed later, so 2 seconds later. So the first rule, if something is going to take a lot of time, we cannot use here, because we are going to block the main thread. So basically never block the main thread. So for example, in Node.js we can use the file system and we have read file sync. So basically sync functions block the main thread. So avoid this kind of usage. On the browser we can use, for example, alert, confirm. This kind of instructions block the main thread as well. So why this happens? So why, if I use read file sync, why I'm blocking the entire ecosystem or the entire app here? So basically, here's the thing. When JavaScript is being executed, one of the things that happens, we execute this line, and later we execute this line. But for the sake of performance, what JavaScript does, it's kind of schedule this to another structure. So for example, if I avoid the use of the sync version and I'm using the read file version, that is a sync version, what happens here? When I execute the first instruction here, it's okay. When I'm going to execute this instruction here, it's slightly different, because we are going to schedule this to another structure called event loop. So event loop, it's a stack. So we need to we have all the callbacks and etc. here. So what is nice about this? So when I'm calling read file here, it's a sync, and when the read file is completed, so it's a sync and there's another structure here, but the thing is, the content of this read file will be on the event loop. So the contents here. So when I schedule this and it takes 2 seconds, for example, okay, it's another structure, but I continue executing this kind of thing. So what is nice? When we are using the async version, we execute the first line, the second line uses another structure here to handle the reading of file and etc. And what is nice about this, when the file is ready, it adds to event loop. But why this is so important? And because event loop is just read when or read here on the main when we are at the bottom of the main script. So when we finish executing the main script, we start getting items from the event loop. So if we block the main script, the main thread, we are not going to process any async operation. So for Node.js, for example, we killed the application. So for example, if new users are trying to connect to our system or something like this, if I blocked the main thread, I'm avoiding to get, for example, a new connection from here. So that's why we need to avoid this kind of thing. The first, another important thing here, it's important to note that sometimes we need to do this on the sync version. So for example, if we're bootstrapping our app and etc., sometimes we need to do this, but just during the startup of the application. Later, we just use and never block again the main thread. So this is the first rule. And the second one, everything that takes some time, we need to try another thing. So for example, if I need to get 1 million records from the database, and it will take a lot of time for doing this, we are not going to do this here, so we need another structure. So every time that I'm trying to use something that is heavier, we need to think twice or plan this better. So if I need to go to the database a lot to get a lot of data and it takes some time, what we need to do? We need to add cache. So every time that we can kind of see some bottlenecks, we need to work in a faster solution. So probably in this case here, we kind of process this data and put on cache, and later another request can reuse this. So basically, never block the main thread, and lately pay attention to what kind of processes or instructions that we are using, and if these resources are heavier or not. So if you're heavier, try to do other things. So if you are using a lot of database, try to use another approach for this. So this is some tips for performance in Node.js, in JavaScript. We can use these strategies even in browser or in Node.js, and probably will make your app faster, okay? See you on the next video.